those records start going out next week or within the week.
Sounds like a good Christmas present
I think
idea.
so. I thought that was a great
like
idea.
A pop-up on YouTube, that you can click. We'll do one of those. We are coming to you from beautiful West Bank, New Orleans, with recently reunited Community. Actually, you guys are a very West Bank band, right? Are you all from the West Bank?
Yes. We are.
Do you live on the West Bank now?
We
Yes.
do, yeah. We actually all do again, yeah. We've all moved away and come back, but we are all back on the West Bank.
Nice. Okay. I guess we should do formal introductions first.
Sure.
Do you
That's fine.
care to state your name and your role in the band
I'll
for the
start.
record?
Travis,
start first.
play guitar in Community.
Kirk, I play guitar and try to sing in Community.
Kevin, I play bass.
And Ryan, I play drums.
And I'm Lauren, and here because Brian randomly chose me because he thinks I'm a big gossip and can get dirt out of people.
Nice.
Oh, is that what it is?
But
Setup.
I do promise to try to stick to some musically related questions.
Okay, cool.
Maybe let's establish some context first. So when did you all meet and how?
Holy sh!
I met Travis and Kirk in high school.
Where'd you go? I have to do the New
Shaw.
Orleans thing and ask.
Yeah, we went to Archbishop Shaw, deep on the West Bank. Kevin went somewhere else.
I did go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I went to Brother
He's a
Martin.
Brother Martin, too.
Oh, not a West Bank school.
These guys are
Shameful.
like Terrytown.
All right, so I met Travis and
We're
Kirk
Marrero.
at Shaw.
Oh.
And I was too fucking dumb to stay in Shaw, so I got kicked out and I went to West Jeff. And from West Jeff, I made some more friends who lived across the street from Kevin, and I think that's how we had that connection. Because you lived across the street from Kevin Davis.
Yeah.
And then how did Kirk come into the picture?
Me?
Yes.
Um,
Oh, you were at Shaw
yeah,
as
I
well.
went to Shaw as
Yeah.
well.
Gotcha.
I might be the bridge.
Yeah. I think there's also interconnectivity with me and Kevin through skateboarding at the same time because
Yes.
there's like the band side, the high school side, and then the skateboarding part.
That's
and it's
true.
all
Oh,
wrapped.
that's right.
That is true.
That was
Yeah.
at West Bank
I think
Skateboarding,
we've all
wasn't it?
touched in different ways.
At the A&P. Was that
the
A&P?
Future Store.
A&P.
Yeah, the
It's
Future
because y'all had a
Store.
practice
Curb.
space over there,
We
right?
did have
At
a
the
practice
donut shop,
space in
that's
the old
right,
donut
yeah.
shop there, yeah, at the Future Store on Manhattan Street.
It's crazy you ask these questions because.
What? How
we've
did you
known
meet?
Each other for
Yeah,
so,
it's like, wait a
we've
second.
known each other for so long, I forgot.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't
true.
even remember.
Yeah.
Well-
So it
I've
started
known
with
these
me
guys.
and Travis first. And I think Travis was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
I had played for, it was like the Shaw Church, like at a
wow.
mass. And so as a joke, I put this dumb fucking drum set. I think it had 3 bass drums, every size rotor tom.
Is he supposed to be saying
bunch
all
of
these
other
F words?
drums.
We can
Oh
edit.
yeah,
We'll-
can
we'll
I?
bleep
Am
it.
okay, 3 bass drums, all the different size toms, everything. But I just played a simple beat the whole time. It was just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Like overkill for
Yeah,
what you
so-
were doing. Was
Had
that the
those many
moment that
different
y'all
colors.
knew that you needed to play music together?
No, actually, there was the days of the 3-way calling landlines, right?
Classic.
Yeah,
Yes.
super classic. And so this guy Daniel Majori, who was with Chris George at Living Rooms.
Yeah,
Studio.
his daughter's in my daughter's class at daycare.
Oh, cool. So I'm on the phone with Daniel. I'm like, yeah, let's start a band. And so he calls up Travis on 3-way, and Travis is like, wait, you want to do a band with that dude that was playing drums at the Mass? He's like, yeah. I was like, that dude
Try school.
sucks.
Try school mass.
Yeah.
He was on the line. You were on the line.
Yeah, I was on the line. I was hush hush, just keeping it quiet.
He's like, hey, I'm here.
Oh my
That
god.
is, oh no.
Still here, buddy.
Still here.
Try school mass was stupid.
And so maybe we should fast forward to when you started the influential bands,
Yes.
pre-Community.
Okay, right. So, long story short, Kirk ends up playing guitar. Me, Kirk, Ryan, and Chad Berthelot are in Superflies.
Yep.
We played before Less Than Jake. This is, I don't even know what year it was, 96, 97. They were like,
96.
y'all can sing somewhat in key and your drums and bass are good. We got put on that label.
That was the moment. That was the show. That
Yeah,
rocketed
That's
exactly.
you.
where we met for sure. Like, The first time we played with them though, it was like a hurricane, and like
Yeah, it
there's
was
no
like
one
working
there.
at Jimmy's.
It was like the night before a hurricane showed up, and we played the show,
Right.
and like there was barely anyone there. But it gave us a lot of time to like hang out with those
Got
guys,
to.
Right.
you know. And then they came back around for a show that was super packed. Like we played with them
Fallbird
again,
Center.
and it was like really packed. And I think that's really what impressed. Like we had a draw in New Orleans.
They
'Cause
had
they
a-
were probably coming through, and no one was showing up
Right.
over and over
Right.
again.
They had a
Right.
band they were touring with that couldn't do the tour. So we were like, sure, we'll do it. You were the only one that was allowed to drive.
I
and
drove the
think
whole time. Yeah.
He drove the whole time, and it was scary. I thought we were gonna die for sure.
And Kevin,
was very
you were
green.
in the vendors at this point, right? Or had that?
Probably, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, correct.
So
Yes.
then Community's heyday was like 99?
Yeah.
Like turn of the century.
Basically, Chad left the Superflies,
Mm-hmm.
and Kevin came in.
And
And
learned
Oh,
all
I-
the
slotted
parts
Travis
of
over.
I don't remember that
we-
phase.
yes.
Travis slotted over to guitar, and Kevin came in as the bass player.
Oh,
I was-
yeah, okay.
Over being in the vendors, and they approached me and were like, "Do you want to play bass in our band? We think Chad is going to not be there.
Yeah.
And Travis will play guitar. Would you want to play bass? We have a show and some road shows next week." And
Yeah.
I said, "Okay." And I learned all the whole CD and the set like in 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
That is when I joined that band, and then we ended up recording a different record.
We recorded a
and
second Superflies record that's like never been released.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's more like kind of
good.
like
That's,
a
the
power
that's going to be the
pop
next
album,
one.
You know?
Maybe. It's good.
It's cool.
It's
It
really
is.
good.
I
Yeah.
forgot almost all of that stuff.
But that happened, and then our label was like, it's not ska. Because
Yeah,
they hadn't realized that they were going to move in that direction anyway. It was like we were just a little
interesting.
ahead of
And
the
so
idea
were you
there.
kind of naturally morphing into what Community became
Yeah.
at that
Yes.
point?
Most certainly.
I mean, I think we are constantly get
Morphing.
bored. You know, like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
do a thing and you're like, oh,
It's
that was
evolution,
fun.
yeah.
What's
Sure.
next?
Sure.
And like, it's like not smart as a band to do that
Totally.
at all. But like, we didn't care.
Yeah.
So we kept going.
Yeah,
you know?
it's
And
not
that's-
smart to stagnate either, probably.
Sure.
But
Right.
like,
Yeah,
I
but
think
like
that
when
was
you're on a
always our
label,
theme.
it's probably a good
Yeah.
idea to put out a couple records
Right.
that are similar,
Like more gradual,
before you
maybe.
like jump your entire scene.
Well, that's when we started. Originally, we were in high school.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like our brains are sponges for music and
Right.
trying to find yourself as
like
far as-
maturing as
yeah, you're maturing.
musically.
You're learning who you
Like,
are and
just
what
like-
you like, and so things stick and things either go away. And I think I was getting heavily. For me, I was getting heavily into, I guess, like prog rock, but along with that was a lot of Afro-Cuban music. I like rhythmic and
Interesting, yeah.
percussive music, and that started to kind of shine. And these guys were getting more into the like odd time signatures, and I thought the polyrhythm stuff was fun, and we started doing a lot of polyrhythm, odd time signatures, more percussive, a lot of notes on the guitar, no more upbeats. It was more intricate. And it was just
I think
kind of like
we definitely lost a lot of. For a minute, we lost a lot of fans because
Interesting.
we went from playing like the punk rock stuff
Yeah.
to this like art project.
It was like a drastic,
Thing?
drastic shift.
So like, and that's why I always kept in my mind like the community stuff, like, oh well, people didn't really dig it all that much or whatever, and then now it's however many years later, and I've got like people I don't even know asking me like, what are you saying? I'm like, how did you even get a copy of that? Because I don't have a copy of that record. Like they just pressed a record of a thing that I was involved in that I don't even have a copy of myself.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
And they're asking me what lyrics are. I'm like, man, I
don't
know. I think that's like a kind of a Pixies ripoff. Like, I don't know what it means. It's just a bunch of weird words. You know, we're doing drugs. You know,
Yeah, we might edit that
taking
part
a lot
out.
of drugs.
What precipitated the reunion? Like why now? Is it because it feels like the music is more resonant, or?
I think it's all Greg, right? All Greg
It's
and-
Patrick that came to me first.
Patrick from Strange
and,
Days.
And he
Okay.
said, well, we've talked about it before, and has always talked about how much that record means to him. Honestly, I didn't really know what songs in particular he was even talking about. And so, but we've talked about the record, how much it means to him in that band, and I don't think he'd ever seen us play because he came up right after that, after we stopped playing. And so the beginning of this year, 2022, he said, no, I really want to put that out. I really want to like press that up for the label for Strange Daisy. I'd like to rope in Community Records to do the same, to sort of co-release it, since they were both like heavily influenced by the band and that record. And so I was said, okay, if you're serious about it, let's do it. And so me still not really knowing 100% what songs they were, so he sent me the songs, and I remembered. And
You're
I
like,
said,
oh yeah, these.
Oh, these, right. I was very skeptical on what it could have been. But it took me back immediately. I loved it, and I said, if you really want to do this, then I'm on board, and I think we're all on board. I got in touch with everybody. They said yes. And I said, look, we're not going to play a show, though, so don't expect that.
Uh-oh. We know how
and
that
he said,
turned
that's
out.
fine. He said, that's fine. We would, at the very least, we'd like you to show up to an event that we're going to throw.
He was testing them. He knew he was gonna play.
to
Yeah.
release
That
this
sounds like a
record. There will
Brian
be
move.
some sort of totally, and we'll release this. We'll throw some kind of party, have some bands play from both labels. If you guys just show up and like have fun with us, we'd be like, that's cool. And then we thought, what if we played like 2 songs? You know, what if we just come on? Like, I mean, the gear will be set up, so we'll just get up and play. We'll bang out 2 songs, and then it just started to become something else. And then we thought, all right, well, let's play 4 songs, and then let's play the whole album, but we'll leave one of the songs off. And now we're playing the whole album.
Yeah.
And so, and it sounds really good. Like in a lot of ways, I think it sounds better than it originally did. You know,
It's more concise. It's focused. It's...
I don't know what it is. It's more, I'm appreciating it more at the moment.
Interesting.
Just because I had no idea what that meant to a lot of people, and now I'm like hearing it, and I'm like realizing that, and so like it makes me look at it a lot differently.
Yeah, like retrospectively.
Absolutely.
That's what I was curious about. Like, is it like revisiting the music? Is it like revisiting a nostalgic moment in time, or are you like
it's
reconciling it with your present day
I think
It's
self?
strange,
both.
like
I think
it's a lot
of
learning,
both.
like getting in that mindset.
Yeah.
Especially for me, because I don't really play guitar, so I had to like relearn how to play guitar, which I'm still working on.
Still learning.
And it's a borderline psychedelic experience, like especially between me and him, because I'm surprised he's even playing the show. Like, I'm like, Kirk's gonna be way too busy or whatever. And now we're in the practice space, like, what do I play here? Like, I don't know. You played 2 guitar tracks on that part, I think.
It's
Yeah.
definitely like digging up an old brain and exploring it, and what were the patterns that we were sort of doing at the time? How is it different than now? I enjoyed digging up that brain just because
Well,
I haven't played bass in a
he's
long
good.
time,
He's
That's
really
why,
good.
and
Yeah.
so like I'm having a blast, sort of uncovering and peeling back the layers and all that stuff. I'm more comfortable as an onstage musician these days, singing and playing at the same time. So like I feel decent about it.
Yeah. So out of the 4 of you, is Kevin kind of the only one who's well, there was Black Belt after Community, but
Correct.
like continuously produced and performed new
Kevin's
music?
in the game. He's keeping.
I was playing with another band for a little
Okay.
bit, and it's kind of like moving. We're in the early stages of it. We've had a lot of people drop in and out of it.
Yeah.
But it's not focused enough to
As active. Yeah. So is it kind of like life got in the way? Like, why did Community break up? And you all have been pretty busy.
Originally,
In the
Ryan
meantime.
left town.
Yeah, I moved to Chicago, and it was just a moment. I was like, I had friends up there, and I liked Chicago, and I felt like it was that time. You know, we were off of Fuel by Ramen. We were not getting picked up by any kind of booking agent or labels.
Yeah.
He was
And
in love.
at the
Oh, okay. Here we go.
yeah, I started seeing this girl. I also had good friends up there.
Yeah.
I mean, Charlie was up there. I was like, I want to go hang out with Charlie. Miss that dude.
You know what else?
And
Also
so,
at the time, and I could be wrong, but the scene music kind of was like falling off.
Like
the
like
scene-
slowed
Yeah,
down.
slow down.
I hate to ask Brian Funk off camera, but am I right there? Somewhere around 2004.
There was like a
5,
lull,
there was
lull.
like it died for a minute. I remember 1 second where it's like shows are kind of crazy and going crazy, like and it was wild. But then there's like no show. There's like aren't any local shows going on, and it kind of just was like.
I think just the world in general was shifting at that time.
I think it's
in a weird
also
way.
like, like all these like music scenes are like kind of interrelated. It's like I'm in the bar business now, so I see a similar thing at the bars. Is like you have like this group of people that are like ride or die for this bar, right? Or like for this punk rock music, right? And then they all get to like 21 and then like they go a bunch of different
Interesting,
directions.
yeah.
And then like that scene has to get rebuilt from the ashes with like another younger group,
It's
and it just
cyclical.
kind of
There
keeps
you go.
going. Yeah.
So there was a turn.
Yeah.
That's just my guess on it. I mean, that for me, that's how I felt about it. I was like over it, I was just like, okay, cool, I'm done. I don't really want to do that anymore. But we did other bands.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I feel like that a reunion was definitely gonna happen at some point because after I moved back here after like 2 years in Chicago, and then Kirk, Kevin, and I started a band for a little bit,
Alfredo, yeah.
and that lasted until
Scott.
Katrina hit, and then
And then I moved to Chicago. so
he
that
moved
was
to
over.
Chicago, and after Katrina, it was Travis, Kevin, and I started the Black Belt Band, and then that came to an end as life started to
Yeah.
kind of take over. I had a daughter. I have a daughter, so I was raising her. I was working a lot. Kirk has kids as well, so he's into that, doing the things that he needs to do, and which is life. You
Yeah.
have to take a little
And there's
break.
like restauranteering and
and it's not like
beekeeping.
Yeah.
we
and
always
paper
loved
art.
each other. We had this like brotherhood about us,
Yeah.
and I think that's what always brought us back together because we've known each other for so long, and we're not like a Craigslist band or just piecing something together of people you don't know. We already knew each other,
Yeah.
and so I think that's what made that bond. And with a bond, you have to take breaks from each other. For a
Yeah.
little bit.
It's
And then-
easy and it's hard.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy
So-
I
and
just
hard.
think it's crazy that this recording that we did at my house, because I live with Chris George, he was building a studio, which was uncommon,
Yeah.
very uncommon at the time, that we recorded on Milton Street in Gretna. That
Oh, like the
Kevin-
old living room.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
like the studio.
Yeah.
Kevin
studio.
Camarda
Okay.
His
burned
bedroom was the control
CDs,
room.
burned CDs in his house,
I burned them too.
and
It took like 20 minutes
and
of CD.
pulled like what was it, photocopy paper and pasted.
Oh, we'll go to
I
Kinko's.
wrote on them with a Sharpie.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
Those CDs are over there.
that
I wrote
anybody
on those
even
fuckers.
got any of those or how they survived or any of that stuff is mind blowing to me to this day.
I screen
there's
printed the
pe-
disc.
there's
Screen
kids
printing before that,
in
I
these
think
other
if-
bands that ask me like, what is this about? What is blah blah blah? And I'm like I had no idea. I really had no idea.
Yeah, and now
None.
you're
Zero.
releasing this album in like a totally different world
Yeah.
context,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Totally.
in
And
some
it's
ways it's a lot
20 years
easier and
later.
more accessible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways, like community is the music is like way less adventurous than it seemed back then as well.
Oh,
you know what I
'cause-
mean? I
yeah.
think that's helpful.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. So have you like added to it, like layered, or are you just kind of like playing the songs as they were written?
I
We're
think,
playing them
yeah,
as
we're
they're
playing
written.
them as they're written. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
I mean,
thought
there's, like,
even
a
originally
little-
we thought, well, maybe we can cut some corners here because it's just a different brain, you know.
Yes, we are
But we
struggling
did,
to
but we
relearn.
didn't.
Skills
we,
have-
We kept struggling
atrophied.
to relearn these songs.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're
speak
playing
for yourself.
Exactly.
but
For
But-
me,
Me and Travis.
Kevin's maintained
Me
it.
and Travis.
Kevin's been there since day one. I think he was ready to play first practice. Like
Yeah.
he could go play a show.
So was there an amount of like convincing the other guys that fell onto you,
was
Kevin, or?
I was probably the last to
Oh,
be
that's
on
funny.
board. This was not my idea.
Yeah.
Even though I'm excited and like once I really like it took some convincing.
I think I was pushing more to do the reunion
Yeah, I think
was
so.
like, hey,
People were
we wrote
asking
these
me in
songs,
public,
it
like,
came
I
from
heard
our
y'all are
heads.
playing a reunion show, and I was like, I don't know anything about this. And no, that's not
That's
happening.
another Brian move.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Just start
disperse
spreading
the info
Sure.
before the subjects
I
know
wouldn't
about
doubt
it.
it. But I was like, that's not happening because I don't even know I don't know those songs.
Yeah.
And there was some convincing from them to me, but I also just like, there was a lot of just in my own head trying to convince myself
Yeah.
that it would, shows are very hard for me to play in general. Like, even though I play somewhat regularly, it's very like an anxious thing for me. And so to do it with a band that I hadn't played in for like 20 years, that's like, that's a lot. And just thinking of them, like, you guys haven't really played a show in a long time, and so that's very anxious for you guys, I would imagine, but also for me, like, I feel bad sometimes because there was a point where I hadn't played in years, and I then, so through the pandemic I put out a record, and then I played a show I hadn't played since Lovey Dovey's years. It had been on stage, and like, it was a freak out. Like, it was a hard time for me.
I imagine reapproaching it is pretty daunting.
It is. But like I said, we did the work and it's paying off. So like, I feel less nervous about it.
It's cool.
But I mean, originally, like,
Yeah.
getting over that first, like, are we going to do this? That was tough for me.
We
Yeah.
played a lot back then. Like, we
Right,
were tight.
sure,
like, we hung
sure.
out. Like, we were like bros.
That's
you know?
how we hung out. It was like, you come over.
We practiced like
practice
3
in my
times
house.
a
Times
Yeah.
a week,
Yeah.
easy.
And now it's more of a like contrived, like we have to get together
We
to
get
practice
together for
music.
3 hours.
On
Yeah.
Monday at 10 a.m.
Yeah, 10 a.m. Get your coffee.
Interesting time.
Before you have to pick up your kids from school.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I'm asleep at night at like 9:30.
Yeah.
Like, I'm asleep. Like,
I
we're gonna
hear
be
it.
playing
Yeah,
the show.
me too.
It's gonna be like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a
Man.
coffee.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely
Go to
having a
sleep,
6
man.
o'clock coffee for this.
I think I may have to take a nap earlier. today.
It's going to be difficult to stay up that late for sure. Okay, so the show, December 28th.
28th, yes.
What happens after that? Like, is this an indefinite reunion, or is it just a record release and then
That-
show and that's it?
That has not been discussed.
Correct.
Really?
There's no answer for that.
We've got time now to hash it. Yeah, let's hash it out.
I knew that was a new.
Should we
right
vote?
at you.
Was this
I'm
what
down.
he?
Yes.
Is this what?
I
Brian
I was
was
like,
up
oh,
to?
there it is.
Yeah.
I'm down. I love like getting back in the room, the first practice that
Yeah.
we got together,
Yeah.
and it felt like time just kind of paused, and we're back in it, and we're just joking and having a good time, and I was like, this is why I played music with these guys.
So we've got
Long story short,
we've
yes.
got one on
Oh,
board
yeah.
so far. Just need
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do it, but it's for what, just for money.
just
making
curious,
just for
yeah.
money.
Because
Yeah.
that's what this has been about.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I
This
mean,
whole time.
surely
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
make millions.
Well, I
Yeah.
need a BMW.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. I think probably when you play the show, seeing like how the music still really resonates with people.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I mean, are you expecting like the same kind of crowd
I have
as
no
20
idea
years
what
ago?
to
I don't
expect.
remember.
I go from there's going to be
remember.
nobody there to like there's going to be a lot of people there.
Yeah,
So I have no
droves.
idea what to expect. But I do, I know some people that are flying in town
Yeah.
or changing their holiday plans to stay
Yeah.
in town the extra day and
Yeah.
things like that. But I don't know. I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have flashes of a very terrible show. It was very
It's
good.
gonna
Could
be
go
cool.
either
That's
way.
like sort of how I do everything.
No
though.
matter
Yeah.
what,
It'll be
it's
fun.
gonna be cool.
Yeah.
It'll be
It'll be,
fun
it
at
will
the
be
very
fun no
least.
matter
I'll
what.
say-
No
Yeah.
matter what.
I'll say as far as like being in a band again for me, I'm interested, but I'm not interested in like a nostalgia trip. Like so, like
Yeah.
if we were like to do a band, like I think these shows, like this show is like it's over. Like right, this is like nail in the coffin for
Yeah.
community as a
Interesting.
thing, and be like cool. And if we want to play music, I'm into that, but I don't really want to be like revisiting these 20-year-old songs now. Like
Yeah.
we've always been those dudes that like move on, and like it's really weird for me it's really hard to like go back and like this.
Yeah.
A lot of
bet.
times
I
he's
don't
like-
like the old stuff we've done ever. I've never
Yeah.
been like, as soon as the recording's done, I'm like, I'm just.
Well, you
like, fuck, don't
described
wanna hear
that
it
kind of
anymore.
like accelerated evolution from Superflies
Yeah.
to Community. I can imagine it's like
Yeah.
weird to kind
It's
of.
weird, yeah. I'm just like not into that idea, like
The
nostalgia
revisiting.
music.
Yeah.
It's like not for me. It's fun to do. I really am enjoying playing, and I think the show is gonna be fun, you know. And I've like kept a positive attitude about that, but like it's not like filling a creative void for me.
Got it.
whatsoever.
And
Yeah, because
so-
you're reverted back to the
Yeah.
old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool because, like, for me, it's putting my mind back to where I was kind of playing, and as a player I am now.
Yeah.
So if it was to continually write new songs,
Yeah.
I go, okay, there's a piece of the old me in there, and that old style,
Yeah.
and then there's the new style of how I play.
I just think it would be like
Interesting.
radically different from what we did.
yeah.
And like at that
Totally.
point it's like, I don't know, is it Community? Does it even matter?
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I
Yeah.
would play extra shows beyond this because we've put so much work into
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The show would have to be right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who I'd like to play with, like other bands that we're trying to shoehorn into this show, but
Yeah.
you just can't do it in one show.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so if the show is right, I would do it. I'm not interested in playing a bunch of shows. I'm already in other
Yeah,
bands
yeah.
that you know that do shit like that.
Yeah.
And like I said before, playing shows in general just like isn't. It's like I have a hard time doing that.
You
All
know, you
right.
never
Well,
know.
it feels like we've got a tepid consensus. Maybe we'll see. Stay
I like
tuned.
that
I mean,
descriptor.
you know,
for
you're
sure.
talking about like 4 people that like were in a band a long time ago, forever, worked on a record, played a lot together, and then basically like went away for a while,
Yeah.
right? Everybody's got grown up lives, everybody's got their own things going on. Bringing that back together, I don't know. It's tricky, I
Yeah,
think. You know
I
what mean?
think
It's
that's why
tricky.
it's interesting to people. Like, I think the reception, that's part of
Yeah.
why the reception has been so.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I would play another show, like
Yeah.
for Community, like
Sure.
of the record.
Sure.
But like, I
You
wouldn't
wouldn't
be
linger in it.
interested in like being Community again and like writing new songs and then
Yeah.
still playing the old songs or something. That's just weird to me. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you
Yeah,
just want to
that would be
move on.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking 20 years ago.
Sure.
That's
I
like
get it.
half. I mean, like literally, like it's been as long. I've been alive half
Yeah.
as long as it. You know what I'm saying?
It,
Like,
it makes me feel super old.
Yeah.
For sure.
Don't do that now, man. Don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's not
Yeah.
not
But
calculate
you know,
that.
I hear ska's coming back, so maybe we can do like a ska band. You know, it could be like a new tone band.
It was conceived here first.
Yeah,
so.
there you go. It's on video.
All right. Let's end on a Brian question. Crassly worded. Do you still like each other? I feel like we have the answer. I feel like there's evidence.
Oh my, this asshole.
Do you
still like each other?
I will say
That
I
is
would
a Brian
say-
question.
I love that.
I would
That's
say
amazing.
we like each other as much as we always did.
Oh wow, that's
That's a
cryptic.
politician right there, baby.
Yeah.
I think
He's running
it
he's running
is.
for
That's
Congress.
I
amazing.
think
Yeah.
just like any relationship that is long,
Yeah, it's nuance.
but it gets silent. You know.
Got it.
What the
Okay.
fuck are you talk about after 27 years? You know, there ain't a lot to talk. There ain't a lot to talk about.
So the answer to Brian's question, I think, is yes.
Oh, we're all still cool. Definitely.
Yeah, I have. If text messages are any showing,
they're an indication.
I have 5 million text messages between us over the last
Oh.
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah, I mean, if
Aw.
something went down with any of these guys, like, I'd be like,
Yeah.
what do you need, man? Like,
Yeah.
I'm coming.
For sure.
Like, there wouldn't even be a question.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's like any older person's relationship with friends, though. You know, it's like it's not what it was; it's what it is now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, and it sounds like there's some bit of like forging new ground as well, potentially.
Are you trying to get us to play again?
I think that's where we're going
Yeah.
with this. Okay, I think we need to wrap. Thank you so much
No problem.
for
Thank
sitting
you.
on
you.
my
Yeah.
sofa with me. Should we do like parting logistical details for the show? December 28th,
Yeah, sure.
December. So Wednesday, December 28th at Siberia.
Siberia.
Who are we playing with?
We're playing with Mezzo Peak, who is also on Strange Daisy Records. So the whole show is put together by Strange Daisy and Community Records,
Gotcha.
who are put out the record for
Yeah.
us. And like
Is
I
that
can't.
are they similarly named? Is that significant? Community Records. And-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
They,
that's
they
what.
asked went back when I don't know 12 years ago when they started.
Yeah.
They asked
never knew
and
Yeah, that's interesting.
and
It sounds like
Yeah,
a better name for
yeah.
a record label than a band.
Like-
Well, it's a very hard name to Google for a band.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
I
sure
will
it
say.
is. It is
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, there was
But-
no Google
but-
back
but
then.
the
Right,
Google
right, right.
Analytics is
Absolutely.
in its early days.
For
You
sure,
know,
for
I
sure.
worry that like
Take that leap
if we
again.
don't like make this really work for them, then like there'll be another band that really should have this happen that it doesn't happen for. So
Yeah.
like that's like my main push right now,
Yep.
honestly.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will.
But
So,
they're psyched. Both labels are psyched. They're selling records. They'll
Yeah.
sell more. And
because so you can pre-order it now.
you can
and
pre-order
then
it
it's
right
out
now.
in January.
It is.
Yeah.
So
And- but
will it
they
be
start
available at the
mailing-
show?
It will be. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
got it.
They'll start mailing them out. I think like within the week. Right now. Like the
Oh, that's
pre-orders are
great.
still happening. And like I talked to Patrick and Greg, and those records start going out next week or within the week.
Sounds like a good Christmas present
I think
idea.
so. I
Yeah.
thought
Can
that was
we
a
do
great
like
idea.
a pop-up on YouTube? You know that you can click. We'll do one of those.
And you see, this is why we should play more than one show, Kirk, so we can
Make
sell
it
more than
yeah
albums.
really worth their while.
see?
Oh look,
Support the
if
album.
they ask us to do it for that reason, I will happily do it.
It does make sense that we would have to get back together to play this show because we wouldn't be these people, I think, without having gone through
For
that.
sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
So there's like, if we wouldn't get together and play this show, it would probably be some bad luck for us. So we have to do it for the sake of karma.
That's
Yeah,
you
it's,
believe in that
it's
sort
like a
of
moral obligation, really.
I can hands down, I have no idea what he would be doing or what I would be doing
Yeah.
or what these guys would be doing. I have if we weren't like good at playing, music, I have no idea what I would probably be like a good person. I would probably be like a normal guy.
Wow.
I'd have a
I don't know
job.
if that's a good thing you took this route, or
It is what it is, but we have to. That's why we gotta play.
You have to,
That's
like,
why
validate
when the
it
idea
and-
came up,
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, like we
it's
gotta do
written in fate.
It. Yeah, we gotta do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
we gotta do it for Brian.
Brian thanks you for your service.
Yeah, I can't wait to be there to see it.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.